indicted assistant coach Chuck Person. Auburn. Chuck Person has been indicted by a federal grand jury and fired by Auburn after the former Auburn assistant coach and player along with co-defendant Rashan Michel were indicted on 6 charges by a federal grand jury in New York on Tuesday. Auburn officials confirmed to the Montgomery Advertiser that Person's employment had been officially terminated. He is no longer an employee. As such, this is in the hands of the criminal justice system. Auburn University's statement Tuesday night to the Montgomery Advertiser read. The Montgomery Advertiser acquired the 27-page indictment Tuesday evening. According to the indictment, Person and Michel are required to release any and all property, real and personal, that constitutes or is derived from proceeds traceable to the commission of said offenses, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offenses. The school's all-time leading scorer was placed on suspension without pay following his September 26 arrest on charges of bribery, conspiracy, solicitation of bribes and gratuities, conspiracy to commit honest services fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud and travel act conspiracy. Chuck Person, in describing his influence over one of his players, put it this way: "He listens to one person, that is me," said June H. Kim, acting United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Chuck Person also said that his players trusted and looked up to him because he coached Kobe Bryant and worked for Phil Jackson. More. Auburn basketball players Wiley Purifoy suspended indefinitely. Auburn President Stephen Leaf confirmed September 26 that he met with FBI agents on the morning that Person and several others were arrested in connection to the alleged corruption scheme involving college basketball. However, Leaf told ESPN and made a public statement that the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York assured him the university and the school's athletic department were not the target of their investigation. According to federal documents detailing the FBI investigation into corruption involving pay-for-play schemes of several coaches, Person allegedly received $91,500 in bribery payments to steer 2 unnamed Auburn players to a certain agents and financial advisors. Person and Michel, a former NBA and NCAA official and current custom clothing distributor, agreed to accept approximately $50,000 in bribe payments from an undercover federal agent. More. Attorney, NCAA will say Chuck Person was acting as an agent. Person was released on $100,000 bond last month after making an appearance in U.S. District Court in New York. If found guilty of the charges, Person faces a maximum sentence of 80 years in federal prison. Auburn has promoted former director of basketball operations Chad Prewitt, who has been on Bruce Pearl's staff since June 2014, to an on-the-floor assistant coach to replace Person. Auburn has already announced projected starters Austin Wiley and D'Angelo Purifoy will not begin the 2017-18 season on the roster due to concerns regarding their eligibility and a fallout from the allegations against Person. More. ESPN's Dan Dakich, nobody is slimier, scummier and more of a dirtbag than Chuck Person. The indefinite suspension of Wiley and Purifoy came hours before Auburn's only exhibition game last week, a 195 loss to Division II Barry University. "We're still not in a position where we can determine their eligibility yet, so therefore, out of caution, they weren't eligible to play," Pearl said following the exhibition loss on Thursday. "It's indefinite. It could be short, or it could be longer. We don't know." Part of the $91,500 received by Person allegedly includes Person saying on camera to uncover agents' bribes that he paid bribes of $11,000 and $7,500 to family members of 2 Tigers in order to steer them toward financial advisors. Person also allowed for meetings to take place between the mothers of the players and the people Person was working with in the alleged scheme. Person was about to begin 4th season at Auburn and has been a mainstay in the major rebuilding project under Pearl. The Brantline native was promoted to associate head coach in May 2015 after spending his first season as an assistant coach. More, despite federal charges, Brantley supports native son Chuck Person, who played alongside fellow Auburn and NBA greats Charles Barkley and Chris Morris, is the all-time scoring leader in Auburn history with 2,311 points in 126 games without the three-point shot. His 18.3 three-point career average is sixth in school history. He is also the school record holder for field